NCRP Productions presents Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands, Episode 57. Welcome back to Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands. This is Barry, your Game Master. I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves, and we're going to get started.
Hi, I'm Jill, and I'm playing Raya the Mourner.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm playing Ayden Samir Carter.
Hello, I'm Michael. I'm playing Dr. Everett Wolf, the doctor specializing in chemistry and alchemy.
Hey, it's Sequoia, and I'm running Frankie the Undertaker.
Hey everybody, it's Pedro. I'm running Dr. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot my name. Desmond Wright.
I'm going to warn our listeners that tonight it took us a while to get started, so if we digress, just know that that's us. So, last episode, Frankie, you had worked your way with Raya around the far side of what was set up for you as the dig. What we were doing is we are working towards trying to get into Eye's tomb. The space that Ayden believes is Eye's tomb is ahead of you, and Novus Exorcitus Day, or Novus Day, seems to have been in there ahead of you.
Didn't we also learn that they have the other piece? So
there is a belief, based on what Cal said to you guys, that they have one of the two stones.
Alright, and we have the other stuff.
You have one of the two stones as well.
Right, so this... Okay, I just was making sure, because now, like, in retrospect, I'm like, why the hell did I come up here? But yeah, okay.
So, actually, out at the dig site, there were a number of people. You guys had watched them come and go for a bit. What looked like into the hole looks like clearing sand and whatever else detritus is in that front of that tomb entrance and pulling it out. You saw a number of guys that were sharpening the swords, and then they would head back into the hole. So Frankie came up. You made a stealth attack while Raya was trying to get the horses to run. Raya was able to get them moving. You chopped lines. Raya got them moving. Raya ran them out. So there are no horses at this point. While this was going on, we have Dr. Wolf bringing up a contingent of people, including Ra, Bess, Abrax, Cal, and Marood. The group of you is moving up straight on. But preceding everyone was Ayden. Ayden was completely frustrated with everything that was going on in camp and getting nowhere. Nobody knows why, but he made his way up towards the camp and was intercepted by one of the Novus Day. And all hell has now broken loose. We have a number of dead. We have fully attacked the camp. And right as we left, we have one of the Novus Day that has come out of the hole that wears a mask that appears to be ruby or red in color. Frankie went after this individual. Something happened. Frankie dropped his axe, fell to his knees, stood back up, and turned towards you guys. That is where we left it. One more piece was, I have it written down here, one more piece that I have forgotten where it happened was, you heard a call or a cry for the light come from these people. Some side notes, Frankie believes that possibly Novus Day are not the fighters that Cal and Marood have suggested they were. Frankie had no trouble battling through almost everyone and everything that he came up against. So, one of the things that did come up in last game a couple of times was your negative qualities. Let's go around and let's talk about everybody's corruptions, because we've gone up in a few corruptions even just last game. So, Pedro, tell us about Dr. Wright's corruptions.
Okay, well, my corruption is obsession. I am obsessed. I am obsessed at level 3, which mechanically means that if there is something of an opportunity for myself that involves my area of obsession, which is involving bringing back my wife, then I need to make a DR 14 to resist talking about it.
And that's the only obsession you have.
Yeah.
So you have your only corruption. So you have one corruption at level 3.
I have one corruption at level 3. I have never taken a physical nor drive, although I might at some point.
So Frankie and Sequoia, let's talk about Frankie's corruptions. Now that you are a Half-Lifer, you didn't start that way in the game, but now that you're a Half-Lifer, you can, from my understanding, not take a physical corruption. Do you have one that you had prior to?
No, I only had a drive corruption, and it's Killer Instinct.
Okay. And where is that at these days?
It's at a 2.
It's at a 2. And then you don't have another one? That's the only one you have?
That's it.
Okay. So, Killer Instinct, how do you envision Killer Instinct works for you?
I think that the most direct line between two things for Frankie is always just killing somebody. And that's the main thing. I'm not quite at the point where I don't, like, form attachments, but I don't necessarily have, like, if you're not, like, a close friend or family, then I don't really care if you're alive or not.
Okay. Killer Instinct also suggests to me that when you go to throat form, you are a lot harder to get off the trail, off the scent.
Yeah.
That throat focus, which is there as a throat, they kind of have that built into them, becomes even stronger in your hands.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Okay. Michael, how about Dr. Wolf? What kind of corruptions are we working with there?
So,
what basket of insanities do we have over there?
So, the funny thing is one of the impediments I got, and this is important actually, is called malignity, or malignity. I can't pronounce it. But malignant is the best way I'm going to put it there. Which means I started the game with 2 corruptions.
Okay.
I have a desire corruption, which is obsession, and that's mainly Wolf's obsession about trying to find the way to help people evolve into a better state of being and stuff. That's the thing he talks about. That's the thing that's part of his whole research and stuff. You may think it's thropes. It's not the thropes.
Yeah, it's not the
just
true serum. That's not really what your focus is for your obsession.
It's true. It was just a key to get to where I was trying to go. Unfortunately, we see where this is. Consumed is the drive condition, which, honestly, but the obsession and the consume sort of feed into each other very well. They give a nice feedback loop. But I believe also this consumed thing is he knows he doesn't have a lot of time before, well, especially before whatever's happened to him. It's just, I'm a ticking clock. Eventually, I'm going to succeed, and I can not necessarily cure myself, but make this evolution come full to fruition, or I'm going to become a monster.
And what levels do you have these 2 at?
They're both at 1.
Both at level 1, so not terrible yet.
Not terrible yet.
All right, Ayden, last session you raised one of yours, so let's talk about your corruptions.
All right, so I have a physical corruption, which is cursed. And I had imagined that basically I have never, essentially healed right. It always kind of, puckers.
We're talking the hand or any
part of me. So, my skin, that's why I kind of wear the robes, and nobody's ever really seen below that. It's just because I got a lot of weird marks and twists and things.
You've definitely used that hand quite a few times as something soporific or bleeding or not in good shape.
Right. And then I have a corruption and drive, which is consumed. And the consumed part was just whenever I'm finding something interesting or something that piques my curiosity, or I just go days without doing stuff I should probably be doing. I just kind of lock my way, just have an unhealthy obsession, staying up till 5 a.m. playing video games type thing.
Gotcha.
So your
we don't know anything about that.
So your consumption or your consume is on whatever the interesting thing at hand is. So you also have a little bit of that ADHD kind of thing as well. So you don't stay consumed on one thing necessarily.
Right. It usually, I figure how it's kind of
new and shiny.
Yeah, kind of how I imagine it was. I'd basically stay focused on something until I basically passed out, or something caused me to break, and then I'd be okay again until something new kind of came up.
Gotcha. All right. And what levels are those at?
Those are both at 1.
Okay.
And then my desire.
So you have all 3.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then my desire is 4, and it's an obsession. And like I said, why can I not remember your name?
Dr. Wolf?
Essentially, I was obsessed with finding the secrets to the hidden world type of thing, like the magic and stuff like that.
So when you say the hidden world, are we talking the Book of the Dead, the entrance into that world specifically? Or
anything magical.
So crossing any veil.
Right. Or learning some hidden truth that, nobody else knows about. Because I essentially had this belief that the world works not like how everyone thinks it is. That's why we have zombies.
And that's at level 4.
Right.
So, just for me as a piece of information, is Prester John in your story?
I mean, if there was something I could find out about that, yeah.
But
I
not
mean,
specifically.
Like if there were if there were like Nazis in like, you know, caves in Antarctica, I would do that too. It's just like it's essentially sort of like I'm like Fox Mulder from X-Files. The truth is out there, and I'm just really obsessed with finding out the truth.
And you're obsessed again at a level 4.
Right.
So
Well,
the highest obsession or the highest corruption at the table. At
and-
level
You are the
5,
most
things change.
right. I think it's level 5 I become unplayable or
Yep.
something.
Yeah, generally it's a little.
So, but yeah, I figure this, like, I'm just being with this group and not anything against the group, but being with this group and just everything going on, I've just kind of been going off the deep end. Like,
Well, so
desert
let me
craziness.
throw something back at you, especially with Dr. Wolf. You have seen things with Dr. Wolf, minor things with Dr. Wright also in the Mutasic. You have seen things that are obviously not of this world, whether they are on the other side of the veil or are not straight. Do you envision the things that are happening there as being something that piques the obsession's curiosity?
yeah.
Okay.
And-
I mean, we definitely saw whether we specifically said anything with it. We definitely saw you took the obsession of Dr. Wolf's ascendancy, change, mutation, whatever
And I've been
word.
trying to role play that, so whenever something weird happens to someone, I kind of hyperfixate on them
Okay.
and do nutty things like setting them on fire. But,
And I appreciate every single moment of it.
but yeah, I just kind of feel like, just kind of thinking it's becoming, as we've been getting deeper and deeper into the desert and more weirder and weirder things have gotten, I've just become more and more obsessed with them.
I'll ask you this, too. Egypt, because it was a power for so many years, there's 3,000 plus years of strong Egyptian history that we have some semblance of understanding today. Far more to my knowledge than others, although I am not that learned as far as the Chinese, so it's very possible theirs goes back farther. I'm not being disrespectful. Just from what I know, Egypt has the longest standing one that we have the most knowledge of here in the Western world in the United States. So do you envision that a part of Ayden's never pushing to go back to his family's country initially was this constantly something new, you know,
Right.
your drive, and then your desire and the obsession as it grows as you find more and more things here. Do you see that as being a possibility why you're still here? I mean, we know that at least storyline wise, we began with the fact that Ayden intends to, as Ray was going to as well, intends to go back to London.
Right. And part of that was because I was playing off the thing of like the idea of London having a lot of the Egyptian antiquities and stuff from,
Yes.
and so thinking he might find some clues or something there. But I now kind of see him in a, like, going back to England is like the farthest part from his mind. Now he's like really wants to find out what these two stones are, and he's just kind of circling the drain with it.
Sure, gotcha. Those are less probably of the obsession and more of the drive.
No,
Right?
I think he's obsessed with them. He wants to figure out how they work.
Okay.
And,
All right.
I
And
mean,
you envision they have some connection to the otherworldly thing? That's
I-
what you're...
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, first off was, you know, he was looking through it and you could see the light, and he really wasn't sure how you could have accomplished that, especially at that time. And, like, I'm kind of imagining him like the guy from the History Channel, Aliens. He's not saying aliens, but it's like, his thing would be magic.
Right.
Kind of thing. Or like-
Absolutely.
so
And
that's,
that has come up a couple of times, too. The word magic has come up where people haven't really discussed it, but it's been mentioned. So, okay, well, that's good. Just real world on game world. We are in London up to about 1905. And the British, who had control of Egypt for a portion of the 1900s, had removed a tremendous amount of Egyptian artifacts. They also did things like snorting mummy dust, and they would crush up mummies and then snort it as something to experience. It wasn't until the 1970s where the Egyptian government became powerful enough to start demanding their artifacts back, and a large portion of them, not everything by any means, but a large portion are being slowly returned over the last 40 to 50 years to Egypt from London, a little bit from France, who also has quite a few of them. So the thought of you going to London to expand your knowledge of Egyptian artifacts, it's possible that other than you digging them up, there are more Egyptian artifacts in London at this time than there are undug in all of Egypt.
And that was kind of, I wasn't sure on the dates, but that was kind of my thinking type of thing.
Okay. All right, so Raya and Jill.
So I have one corruption. It's a drive corruption. I have consumed at level 2.
Okay.
And so my consumed is Raya's guilt over Alistair.
Okay.
Over she very much feels guilty that she let him die. She was supposed to be protecting him because he was a ward of the Greatling family. But on top of that, so because Raya was in love with Alistair, and he was in love with her too, but they never did anything about it.
Unrequited.
Yeah. Because mourners aren't supposed to get married or take
kind of the way it's written, it
or...
almost suggests they're supposed to be chaste.
Yes,
completely.
They are supposed to be chaste. So there was that, and then she not only let somebody who she was supposed to protect die and wasn't able to save him, but it's somebody that she was in love with too. So that's my consumed, is the guilt from letting Alistair die.
So I thought you said obsession. My apologies. So that is consumed?
Yes, it's a consumed.
Consumed. Okay. And how do you envision that playing now? So Alistair is gone, and part of that consumption is you trying to kind of look at the world and see how you could do something better, bring something back, change it, those kind of things. How do you envision it playing out for you now? What things does Raya deal with or do?
So one of the things is she's very loyal to the group. She doesn't want to lose anybody else.
To the point of putting herself in harm's way. We've seen that in
harm's way.
Games we've been playing.
Like she did with Dr. Wolf when he wanted to go out into the desert to die. She went out there specifically to try to save him. For all of the strife that she's had with Dr. Wright, she still does things to try and save Dr. Wright, try and protect Dr. Wright, even though she's infuriated by him. So it's manifests itself as loyalty to the group, putting herself in harm's way to make sure everybody is safe and everybody gets back to the airship and back to London, even though Raya's not planning to go back to London with them.
Okay. So, real quick, I'm going to lay you guys out where we are at. Ra, Bess, Abrax, Cal, and Marood are fighting a group of 5 individuals. We have Frankie standing in front of a 6th individual with and I'm going to tell you, it's a ruby mask. We're seeing it in firelight, which is why it goes through red, etc. But it is an individual with a ruby mask. There are a number of other dead. Frankie killed a few down below the horses. Ayden took out, I believe, 1 or 2, one to the side. So there is a minor fight going on there. Dr. Wolf, my memory is you are still not in the camp, but out at distance with your basically long-range rifle trank gun.
Yeah.
Back at the camp, we have Dr. Wright, we have Billings, and we have Zosser, who is the injured Bedouin that you just last session went and checked on to notice that whatever's being done for him, it's being done well. You believe that you couldn't do much more at this time. Maybe it's better, but not much more.
I'm back here thinking everything's fine.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm calling Zosser as my backup character before anyone else.
Not if I have
You all
anything about it.
No, I'm just kidding.
So we are going to start with Raya, who effectively has the equivalent of a held action from last game, which is you are riding into this mess on horseback. So as you are riding in, you see, and Ayden, you have seen this. Dr. Wolf, you have seen this where Frankie is standing back up. And so far of the other group, I made a quick roll to go through. Cal has also seen Frankie stand up in front of the ruby-masked individual. So, Raya, what are you doing? There's battle all around you. The fire is basically a flickering light because people are moving in front of it and back around it. Nobody has gone into it yet, thankfully.
Okay, so Frankie looks like he's now protecting.
Frankie
that
has
guy?
stood up with his axe fully standing in front of the ruby-masked individual, and you saw Frankie go at the ruby-masked individual. So this is a 180 swing.
Okay, so I imagine that I'm riding towards, or riding like in from the side, and I
Yep.
see this.
Yep.
I'm going to bring the horse around to where I'm riding at them.
Okay.
And I am going to try to do an attack on the guy in the ruby mask with my Exculpus
From horseback?
horseback.
Okay. So you will be making an attack at -2. Frankie, if you will roll me I believe it is a parry roll. Do you have parry? Is parry an actual skill? Parry is not a skill.
Because as far as I know, he is human and not a monster.
Yep.
I am not doing a lethal headshot.
You are trying to do
I am
stun
doing a
damage too.
I
Yes.
have free parry.
Non-lethal
You have free parry. Good.
attack.
So you are going
So-
to make a parry on Raya's attack. So Raya, go ahead, and nobody announce until everyone's made their rolls, and this stop there.
Am I rolling it like a free parry?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we're both ready and good. Raya, yours is,
21.
and Frank,
21.
21. So the 21 was the roll. Did you subtract the 2 from horseback?
Yes.
So tie will go to the attacker. So Frankie, you will move with that parry, bringing the headsman's axe up as you see what appears to be an attacker coming towards what you're guarding. Now, right now, from last game, your vision closed to a small, tiny point and then blacked out.
Mhm.
Coming back, you just know that you must guard what is behind you. You don't know what that is. You don't know why you're being sent to do this, but you know presently with all your being that that's what you must do. And on the downside right now, you are seeing anything coming at you at somewhat of a turned and twisted look. So you may give me an intelligence roll to identify, or its intellect, roll, to identify that this is Raya making an attack.
Okay. 20.
Okay, so you will not know that it's Raya. It looks familiar. The
Okay.
person looks familiar. So with that parry, you were able to parry the blow up, but it does not look like you've been able to parry it off. So go ahead and give me a roll. Because you are on horseback, give me your location roll. Because you're on,
How do you do location again?
you're going to give me 2d10, and I'm going to tell you where you're going to go. If you end up with legs, you will not strike anything.
I figure like everything's black and there's like green shapes and then there's like a
13?
white thing behind me.
I could see that. So 13 actually is torso, so it will be a strike. So with that parry, you may have glanced off, and the strike is going to go into the torso of the one behind. Now, the one behind is only tall because Frankie is 5'3".
Yeah.
Right. That's the only reason the one behind is tall. This is not a kaiju. This is basically somebody who's probably 5'8" or 5'9".
He got to eat vegetables.
19.
All right, so 19 for damage, and all right, so that strike, anyone who can hear, which will preclude you, Dr. Wolf, but any of the others that were focused, that'll include you, Ayden, will hear a metallic ring on a metallic sound. You strike, but it glances off,
Okay.
and then you ride past. That is your first action.
So that's my first action. My second action, I'm bringing it around again,
okay.
and I'm going to dismount.
Now, when you say dismount, stop and get off, or leap off using acrobatics.
Leap off using acrobatics.
All right.
Come on, it's Raya.
Okay, so the ride I'm not going to worry about. You're going to do an acrobatics roll for your second action. Go ahead and give me
Okay.
a roll. And where would you like to land?
I would like to land right in front of Frankie.
Okay,
15?
So 15. So you will land right in front of Frankie. For anyone who's watching, the horse kind of rides out of camp, just as if it had a rider on it. So you are in front of Frankie. You have one more action.
I'm actually going to hold this action.
Okay.
Is talking an action?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to say, Frankie, what are you doing? Why are you protecting him?
Does it
Frankie,
sound
it's
like
me,
words?
Raya.
You will hear noises. Give me an intellect roll. See if it goes any farther.
16?
No. So there are noises. It's through a mist, and I like that visual of kind of just moving spaces and this more white, but this beacon behind you. This is the beacon you must save. You don't know it as a person or a place or a thing. It is just what you must guard.
And I'm holding my third action.
Holding the third action. Okay. So then I need to go back here, which is that is. Oh, all right. So, Ayden, do you speak Latin?
I think I said I did. I never specified the language.
I know you have Egyptian.
Right.
You took French last time. You have 3 languages?
I have a language of 3. I'm not sure how many language slots you do.
I would assume 3.
Starts with 3. Again, you have to take one. You have to get one language skill for each language.
Okay.
Yeah, so you should have 3 languages. So presently we know you have French, and we know you have Egyptian, and then you have English.
Right. Okay. So I guess that's it. No Latin.
Well, no. English is a language. English is not a language as far as the skill, but is that the one you want to take? Because we'll close it out for you.
Yeah.
Do you want it to be
not?
Latin?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. So go ahead and mark that down as well. So you're going to go ahead and give me a language roll. Dr. Wolf, you would not.
I'm too far away.
Yep. And I'm going to give it a shot.
All Frankie is hearing is Latin.
Yes, actually, that is true. You will be hearing Latin, but you may not hear what's being said. And Raya, do you speak Latin?
No, I don't.
I speak Latin.
Yeah, it doesn't help you farther away than Dr. Wolf.
Is that
Ayden.
Latin?
I do, but hear at Latin on the way.
that ringing in my ears, that's the Latin, not the tinnitus.
So 15.
So with a 15, okay. So you know that what's being spoken is biblical. You know some of the words. You can't connect why it's being spoken.
Okay.
And what you're hearing, Frankie, is a speech about the light on Earth. It is a passage. I did not pick my passages by writing them down. I know the passages I've got, but it is speaking of the light. And then everyone is going to hear a shout from all of the currently still standing up Novus Dei for the light in Latin. So anyone who speaks Latin, and you will hear for the light, you will definitely hear Dr. Wolf even at your distance. And again, Ayden, you're going to hear them yell for the light. So the battle in between, we have Marud, Cal, Ra, Bess, Abrax, and then who they are fighting. No trade-offs there. There is a good battle going on. Too bad that Frankie doesn't get a chance to see and understand what Cal had said. One of the other things that happened last game was Frankie basically tore the hell out of all of these characters after Cal had warned you guys they were exceptional fighters. So the one in the ruby mask makes the chant. Everybody that's in the camp, so it will not be you, Wolf, I need you to go ahead and make me a willpower roll. Frankie, you're going to go ahead and make a willpower roll. It does include concentration.
It does?
It does.
It doesn't do nothing for me.
If you fail, what's going to happen for you, Frankie, if you fail, you're going to be -1 on just period all rolls. Now that's good and bad because your parry will go down, your combat will go down.
That's a good thing, though.
For the rest of the group.
Yeah, I got a 7.
All right, yes, so you failed. So you will go ahead and mark it down because it will build up on you. So you're -1 on basically everything. Ayden?
Willpower was 16.
You are fine, and Raya?
24?
Yeah, you are also fine. So for all of the people inside, when that comes out, it is spoken with a very calm voice, although you know it's being yelled, and you're hearing the yell Latin, which you're not hearing what the words are. All of you feel a wave hit you. Even Frankie, you will feel that wave. In your case, that wave kind of hits you and rocks you to your core. For the rest of you, it doesn't. The voice sounds much like an older woman. All right, and we step down from there to... Oh, I had him out of order. I apologize. Dr. Wolf, you had done reload.
Yep, I had
at
done
the end
reload.
of your last action.
Exactly. So reload, we're going fast aim on Mr. or Mrs. Ruby Mask.
Okay, so you are taking the shot there. If you miss by more than 3, you will have a chance to hit Frankie. Frankie covers the vast majority of the spots. If you want to aim for the head, you still will have the chance of hitting Frankie, but then it's only on a miss by 3 or greater and a secondary roll.
It's a good thing I was aiming for the head anyway.
Okay.
Always go for the head. Well, especially because it's got the visors, the clearest place to possibly get
Connect
through.
something, yes.
You know, the fastest way to get something to work, right to the brain.
Oh, yeah.
Did we put out how many tokens we got?
We have none.
We have none. That's what I figured, but I figured I'd ask before I made my rolls here. So plus 5 minus how much from the headshot? Is
Minus 3.
Minus 3. Thank you. That is a total of... that is 17 to hit.
Okay. So the 17 will not hit, or you do not see the normal action, but it's important for Raya, you will see this. Ayden, go ahead and give me a wits perception roll at minus 3. And Dr. Wolf, because you took aim, you will see this as well. So give me just a moment.
This is a perception, right?
Wits perception, minus 3.
14.
All 3 of you will see this. So, for you, Wolf, you know the chain of events. You take the shot. All 3 of you will see Ruby Mask's hand comes up. As it comes up, the hand is gloved in some kind of metal. It grasps at something. In you two case, you don't know what it is. In your case, you know what it is. It's grasping this dart, which it should have had no awareness of. However, it misses it. What you get to see is the dart goes through the hand, but glances just shy and bounces off the Ruby Mask.
Whew.
Okay?
Well then, that was close.
Ayden, we move to you now.
All right. So I think last time I saw that she got the whammy put on her, right?
Divine whammy.
Say again? I'm sorry.
I saw that she got the divine whammy put on her, right? I thought I saw
Well, so
that.
you saw something odd happen in that Frankie went into attack. You did see this. Frankie went into attack, dropped his weapon, fell to the ground. For you, it looked like on his knees in supplication, but that could also be you adding things to it. But then grabbed the weapon, stood up, and then stood around, and is absolutely, you've already seen the defensive position against Raya, has definitely taken on some type of a guardian position.
All right. I'm going to run at Frankie and basically just try to tackle him.
Okay, so Raya is in your way. You are going to have to run around Raya, which is fine.
Okay.
Raya's not blocking. Raya's not a truck. Right, okay.
Okay.
And you're going to try and do what? Tackle?
Tackle.
Okay, very good.
Suplex him.
No, I'm just going to tackle. So, I don't have any bare-handed fighting, so I'm guessing...
No unarmed at all, so
Yes.
just give me a raw roll.
It's going to be coordination, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, so you'll add coordination and subtract 2.
Okay. Wow, that was just fantastic. Alright, that works. So, I'm just going to go running and hit something and go sliding past.
So what was the roll?
7.
All right, so yeah, so
Oh.
you'll run around and make a leap.
Well, it'll be
And-
11 total.
Okay, so you run around, you'll make the leap. It is nothing for Frankie as you leap in to literally aid your movement and throw you past.
Okay.
So, hands on, Frankie has full strength and seems to have full control of his fighting faculties.
Alright.
By the way, something that came up last game that I felt so embarrassed that I couldn't remember. Cedar. Cedar, it's the cedars of Lebanon. They are very famous biblically, but they're also very famous in the real world. They have an exceptional smell to them, just a beautiful smell of cedar wood. So I wanted to throw that out there for anyone who was wondering why I couldn't figure it out at that time.
Just for next time, where did I land by? Did I land by the stairs heading down?
Oh, no. You were, so they're standing, effectively, they are standing in front of it. So you came, let's say, from the right and were thrown to the left,
Okay.
or you came from the left and were thrown to the right.
Okay.
All right. This will swing us back up to Frankie. So Frankie, you will make a willpower roll. You add concentration, you will subtract the normal 1, and you will also subtract 3, so total of -4. Do you have any wound?
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I have a
Yes.
-2. Does it
All right.
stack?
So yep, it all stacks. So you're at -6 from this roll.
It's will?
Will plus concentration.
Okay. 16.
16?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
16 is pretty good. So let me ask you, because it's going to be important for me
Okay.
going forward, what is the maximum roll you could roll at -6? If you had double tens on your roll.
I could do 14.
Wait, your
Hold
max
on.
roll is 14?
Hold on. A 20.
Concentration plus will.
Yeah,
Plus
20
one.
plus 14, and then minus the 7.
-6.
Minus 6. Yeah, it'd be 24. Yeah, 18.
So 18 would be the max roll. Okay. For the moment, I won't have you roll because you would not be able to break it at present. Things may change it, though. So, what you hear, no one else will hear this. What you hear in your mind, when you think of Frankie speaking in Frankie's not necessarily native tongue, but the speech that Frankie uses, because of your church upbringing, do you speak in Latin or in English as your standard language when you think? So a lot of people who are bilingual or more, if they don't learn it at childhood, they will speak a language, but they'll be thinking another language and converting the words to that new one. Like when I was learning Spanish, and I'm terrible at it now, sadly, when I was learning Spanish, everything I did came in Spanish, converted to English, and then had to get the answer and went back out in Spanish for me.
Yeah, I mean, Frankie would have grown up speaking Italian, so...
Okay, so an Italian, a Latin.
I always wanted Frankie being like, Mamma Mia, or I'm not gonna win. But that's
Frankie is
Frankie
not
is
a
not
plumber.
Mario.
Luigi.
Frankie's small enough to be Mario.
Yeah, and then, like...
But so Italian even within the church?
well, in church, it was all in Latin, the entire thing.
It was Latin, yes.
Yeah.
Right. But you said Italian.
Well, that's what he...
And
but
there's an
that's-
identifiable difference.
Yeah, no,
Well,
but
Frankie's
I mean,
from the Papal States, right?
Yeah, he's from Italy,
Okay.
so... his first language is Italian.
All right. So very good. All right. Well, so then in that case, you will be hearing this in Latin, and I am not going to even try and do or in Italian. I'm not even going to try and do an Italian accent, but you will hear it as an older woman. In fact, for you, possibly even, yes, my hands can move.
No, if you're talking Italian, you're
Right, I know.
moving
I
the
got to
hands.
have the hands moving. I get that. That part I can do, but it doesn't help for the podcast. You will hear it as an old, matronly woman. You may possibly even hear it as one of the nuns or a grandparent. We have never really established how old you were when you went to the church. But the voice very, very calmly says, "Child, you will guard me. You will stop anyone from coming at me or down into our home."
Understood.
Okay. So you have 2 more actions. Presently, you have just deflected somebody coming at you to one side, and you have a potential combatant which you can identify. There is something in the back of your mind with it, but nothing more now that it's standing still. There's a potential combatant there that is not doing anything against you presently. From your quick assessment, you're in danger, but you are safe from any immediate attack. What are you doing with your other 2 actions?
So, can I see, like, the shape of the cave behind me? Or
Do you want to look around?
Yeah.
So as you turn around, what you see is a villa that is recessed down a hillside. You see the front. It is 4 windows wide with a single door there. It looks somewhat run down, but it looks more ancient and old than destroyed and decimated. It's run down because somebody has not painted it, rethatched the roof, picked the dirt and cleaned the water stains off.
Does the ruby-faced man, does he register as anything? What does he look like in this?
Do you want to turn around and look up? Would you look up?
Well, I mean, I would do like a full everything around me.
Okay, so you're going to take everything in.
Yeah.
So as you look around, the person behind you speaking with you is a glowing white edifice. Basically, you would see it. You will not see it as a kindly old man with a beard. You would see it as, for you, you would see it as the Mother Mary.
Okay. I'm gonna say to her, you should move within the home.
In what language?
She spoke to me in Italian?
Yep.
I would reply in Italian.
And you potentially don't realize it, but it was in your head.
Yeah,
Do you
I would
speak
say it out
verbally
loud.
out?
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody else speak Italian? I don't think so, but I'm gonna ask. Okay.
No.
So Frankie is now talking and speaking in tongues. Frankie throws out another collection of
In
words.
a very, like, calm, like,
Uh-huh.
like comforting way. And then does it move towards the villa?
And so you say we should move back to safety.
Well, I say you should go into the home and I'll guard the front door.
Okay. And she says, "No, child. We need to move. We need to go forward. That is backwards." And
Okay.
then if you watch, she will put a full arm over your shoulder and point, and you can see at far distance. Don't need an observation roll of any sort. At far distance, there is a green light, a pinprick of green light that glows and stops, glows and stops.
Okay.
At far distance, there's a disconnect where you're saying, "Boy, that seems like that's a really long ways out. How am I seeing this far?"
Okay, well then we're going that way. If there's anything in my way, I'm cutting it down.
Okay, so Raya, the being that has some familiarity, is directly in front of you.
Here we go.
All right, so you're going to take a strike.
Yeah.
Now, remember all the minuses are your damage and a -1. You don't have the other minus that I gave you. That's only on control.
This is why I saved an action, so I could dodge.
Right. Well, so Frankie's using the third action, so there's only one attack this time.
Okay, good. It's not very good either. So 7.
That will not hit.
Okay.
So there's a strike. You basically leap back and out of the way, and we move right to you, Raya, at this point.
Okay. So I'm really concerned because I think Frankie's been taken over by this person.
And I'll speak in Italian. I'll say, "Stand down."
And Frankie's
Speaking in tongues.
speaking in a language that I don't know and don't recognize. And,
You're doing your Nona proud.
I
know he's British Catholic, but in my mind, he's like a New Yorker.
Well, there's
I'm walking here.
So here's the thing: Frankie is such a weird mix of things because you are Catholic in an Anglican country.
Yeah,
you're Catholic in a country that really doesn't have a lot of Catholics, more today than they used to.
I'm like going with the Irish, and
right?
stuff.
But you're not in Ireland. That's just it. You ended up at one of the few Catholic churches in London proper. So there's that. And yeah, I know the Bronx idea. You're thinking like Stallone or one of those, the Rocky kind of thing. And I totally get it. It works for me.
Oh, I'm walking here.
But yeah, I can imagine it. So Frankie and the ruby masked person are moving forward.
So
again, your estimate is the ruby masked person is maybe 5'8", 5'9", not substantially taller. Certainly not particularly big.
well,
You're not
probably,
going, wow.
Probably about my height.
Yeah.
Short kings.
So Raya has heard Frankie's control word that Dr. Wright programmed him with several times.
Yes. And has made the connection, if I remember correctly, as well.
and I have made the connection. So I would like to try and shout Frankie's control word at him and wrestle control back
and so
from
what
her.
would you say? Other than the control word, do you say anything else?
So this is actually a big deal for Raya, because Raya cares for Frankie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Raya was absolutely appalled that Dr. Wright had done that to Frankie, and that she can't tell Frankie that Dr. Wright is brainwashing him and controlling him. And now that she's doing it, she's kind of, feels like she's betraying somebody that she cares deeply about.
Yeah,
and
I
this
get that.
is something that, back to my corruption, my consumed corruption goes back to that I'm betraying a friend.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Gotcha,
this is
okay.
the only way in her mind that she can stop Frankie from protecting the bad guys, and B, Frankie from leaving the camp with them.
They kind of cancel each other out, like one possession versus one.
So what I'm going to
So-
have you do is I'm going to have you
free,
make a
Frankie.
roll, and you're going to add your current corruption level to it, because that is really where this is coming from. Is this
Yes.
deep seated? So go ahead
Is this
and
an
give me a roll.
intelligence roll?
Nope, this is a 2 dice roll plus your corruption.
Okay. That would be a 20.
Okay, so you are confident that you've said the right words, but I want to know what you said other than the 2 control words.
So
You say,
I start to get tears in my eyes, and I look at you, and I say, Frankie, Canis Pugnosis, stop protecting her. She's not one of us. She's not one of your friends.
okay? So again, you're confident you have the word right. You're confident you have the cadence right because you heard Wright do this a couple times in the last couple of weeks. So, Frankie, go ahead and give me another roll. You are going to be at, instead of -6, you will be at -5. The only thing that's going to matter is 2 zeros.
No.
All right. 2 10s on that dice. So, as you say it, Frankie, for the barest moment, just shakes. And the only reason you would see it, no one else would, is because you were focused on the expectation that this would work. It does not appear to work. And in your case, Frankie, the person that's in front of you just threw knives at you, and that shake was you moving from those knives. You're not sure why. You know that the ones that missed you did not strike the light behind you, but you know confidently they didn't.
Okay.
Do you have any more actions, Raya?
On my second action, when I see it work, or I think it works for just a moment, I want to try it again.
Very good. Go ahead and give me a roll.
14. Not as good that time.
Okay. So, Frankie, this time, the being that's in front of you, casts hands at you. So this is coming out of a nightmare that you had before. Casts hands at you, and bats fly at you. You
Frankie,
dodge them. You
Canis
move.
Pugnosis, stop protecting her.
Frankie does not stumble. Frankie does not shimmer or shake at all. But for you, Frankie, you envision in your head that you have taken the battle axe, you have swung it around, struck these bats out of the air, and they've fallen in front of you. There's an odd carpet of black now between you and the being in front of you.
And I'm holding my third action
Okay.
to dodge.
So we are going to now move to Dr. Wolf. You are watching, because you're watching through as you're taking your reload.
I'm doing
and
a
taking
reload
aim.
and take aim. That's all I can
Right.
do. But what am I seeing that's going? I mean, I've seen
So
this.
the battle that's happening in front of effectively Frankie and the Novus and the Ruby Mask and Raya has started to move forward. They've moved forward. Raya has jumped back, has made two very loud assaults with basically Latin words. I don't know that Wolf has heard them. Has Wolf heard them yet?
No.
No. Yeah, so you're not sure what.
Oh no, actually, Wolf has heard them once because
Once.
Wright
Yes.
was said them, but
Yep.
he has no idea what. Like,
well, so
well,
so
he
you
knows
don't
he
know-
said command word. He's like, what?
Right.
And that's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
So,
yeah,
and-
you do
But
know
because you have Eidetic memory, correct?
I do not have eidetic memory, but I have a 5 intellect.
Yeah.
So,
So you kind of know what it is. You have no idea why Raya is yelling,
right.
but you have some indication that she's trying to do something with Frankie.
Well, it's the same. If I think it's the same words as what he said, and he said command word
Yep.
for Frankie, it's like, okay, I'm trying to snap Frankie out of whatever Frankie's doing. But-
Yep. So, and then the other thing that you saw was as Ayden kind of came at and leapt at the creature, at the Novus Day, and Frankie easily took him out of the air and threw him. Just a simple move.
Yeah. How are the taking a quick glance before I go back to my? I think while I'm reloading before I do my aim, How's the rest of the group looking?
So the battle is definitely raging. You'll see a number of cuts. So 2 of the Bedouins have small cuts. The Novus Day that they are fighting have gouges out of the sashes they're wearing on all of them. Marud has a slice on his face that you can see, and Cal and the other Bedouin do not seem to have taken any specific damage, but the battle is pretty close at a 1-to-1. Dr. Wolf, go ahead and give me... wouldn't matter, you wouldn't have seen him. Forget it, sorry.
I need to make a decision here because of who I'm actually going to aim. Should it be Ruby Mask? The problem is like there's... Let's do trolley cards thing, but there's more lives at stake over there. So I'm going to aim at one of those people in the...
Although if you tranquilize Frankie, then I can go toe-to-toe.
I can't trank Frankie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have any throat tranks, and that's the only thing that could affect him.
Now, keep in mind that Frankie is not a throat.
He is a throat. It doesn't matter. Even if he's not transformed, the throat...
Right, but... Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frankie is not... Just so everyone knows, Frankie, we made the throat roll, but Frankie is not outwardly a throat.
Just a little Italian British jab.
Little Italian, British, New York, Bronx guy.
What's going on?
Everywhere has a north.
Yep,
Yeah,
I love
so-
it. I love it.
So, doesn't matter. Unfortunately, because he is infected with the throat, virus,
Yep.
the only thing that could put him down is throat pranks, and I'm out.
Yeah, you didn't bring any of those.
No, they're all gone. We
Right.
used them all.
Yep. All right. So, but you had reload and aim on this round, correct?
Yeah, and I'm going to aim at one of the ones that are in the maroon, group. So.
Perfect. Okay. So then that is going to drop us down to the group there. And give me just a moment as I roll through. So, you will actually get to see this. One of the 5 Novus Day goes down. It is Ra. Ra takes a strike that appears to slice into the front garb from the right-hand side or his left. From yours looking, the right-hand side of the neck down across, comes back, spins, and strikes backwards with the sword, taking the Novus Day through what you're assuming is the chest or stomach. When Ra pulls the blade forward and pushes back, that Novus Day does not get up.
Nice.
The current combat there is 5-on-4.
Gotcha.
Go Ra.
Let's try and make those odds even better. So,
All right. So then we're going to move down to Ayden. Ayden, you are currently on the ground.
It's nice here. I'm going to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
The person with the ruby mask,
Yes.
what direction are they looking in?
So from where you're at, if you're looking at them from the east, they are looking at north. Both the one in the ruby mask appears to be looking north, and Frankie is definitely focused north. North, it would be Raya.
Okay.
Just kind of giving you that positional for where you're at. I'm not worried that you're actually in the east and in the north, but just so you know where we're looking.
I'm going to run at the ruby mask person.
Okay.
And try to hit them from behind, hoping that will break their concentration.
Very good.
Maybe there's some sort of concentration
Okay.
going on here.
So, Frankie, go ahead and give me just a straight
shot, Matthew.
willpower roll. Nothing else. No minuses, no pluses, just straight will.
Okay. 18.
18. So, the voice says, "Child, behind."
So I got a 22.
Okay. So, there's a strike. Go ahead and give me a parry.
Okay. And this is with the -3.
This would be with, this would not, yes, this would be with the -1 and the minuses based on your injury.
So I got a nat 20.
Oh, snap.
And I will go flying again.
Ultra instinct, Frankie.
So what you will see is there's no one there. It's actually important. Frankie, to you, looks like Frankie appears through, meaning stepped through the Novus Day to grab you and then throw you. Go ahead and make an acrobatics roll. Frankie throws you into the... Now, when I say into the pit, it's not a pit. It's
Down the stairs.
Down the sand ramp.
Into the pit.
Right, but it's not.
19.
All right, and so you'll land upright, but sliding down just a bit down there. As far as you can tell, at quick glance, because you would do that, there's darker darkness down there. You're pretty sure they've been, at least the tomb's open. Whether they've been in or not, you don't know.
Okay.
Darker darkness.
Do you have another action?
Another action, unless movement counts as the.
No, if
action.
you have another action, I want you to make your roll against your obsession.
Okay. And that's, what do I do?
You're at level 4,
Right.
which means you need a 16 plus. That is a willpower roll.
I mean, I was going to head down there anyway. So I'll just,
if you're going to do it, then you got to lean into the corruption.
Right. I'm just
I love
like, whoa.
So now you head down and
Yeah.
do you have any light? Do you have a light source that you will turn on?
Probably light my lantern real quick, or one of my candles. So,
Do you have them?
Yes. I don't
So-
think unless we lost a whole bunch of stuff. But
Well, there's a whole bunch of things you don't have. I don't remember
Right.
candles being something you ran out of.
okay, so I still have the candle.
All right. So, Wolf, you will notice just a pinprick, because we are dark, a pinprick of light in the hole behind the Novus Day. And
Completely missed Frankie's.
Okay.
Do you feel the wind?
So
just-
for the barest moment, Raya, what you see is Frankie steps around, and it's an odd, almost ballet look to it as Frankie steps around, or maybe dance, as Frankie steps around the one in the ruby mask, and then steps back around. In kind of that, not square dance, but ballroom dancing type move. And you're fairly sure that was Ayden that went flying. All right, so from Ayden, we are going to flip back up to Frankie.
Okay.
So, Frankie, for you, I need first, and all of this is always your first action. So you will always leave you with 2 until we have this done. So go ahead and make the roll, because one of the things that I didn't think about, even if you can't make the roll, the 2 10s we have always run as a critical success. So
Okay.
if it's not 2 10s right now, you can.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Okay, well, I'm gonna attack the adversary in front of me.
Very good.
To the
All right,
east.
so Raya coming at you. And before you finish, the mistress that spoke to you did not tell you kill. The mistress said we need to go that way
Yeah, but
and defend.
this is the direct path.
Yep,
There's
absolutely.
someone in front of me.
I agree.
17.
And that would be Frankie. So 17. So your coordination is,
My coordination is 5.
so that would leave you with a 12. That would still just hit. You need an 11 plus after minus.
I would like to do a dodge because I have a saved action.
Perfect, let's do it.
What is the roll for a dodge?
So you need to beat the 17. You are rolling, if I remember correctly, you are rolling. Let's look and see if it's written here. Dodge, of course, is not written there. Give me one more second. Let's go here. I know it's 2d10, so you can throw those now. That is my guess as well. And we're going to have to make it up because it's not written down in the index. So, yeah, I'm gonna say add your coordination and your dodge roll. And what you're basically trying to beat the 17 that was rolled.
I got a 17 exactly.
Okay, so yes, it would normally tie goes to the attacker, but in this case, you are the attacker, so you dodge. So you dodge out of the way of that first attack.
Good.
Okay, so that moves the adversary out of your direct
Yeah,
walk.
so back to east.
All right, and you walk.
Mhm.
All right, and so what you see is now that you're off direct line, Frankie is still on defense, and you know Frankie's defense. Frankie is on defense, and Frankie and Ruby Mask are starting to walk away.
Okay, so I'm going to try something different.
Yep, because this is your rounds now.
I don't want Frankie to get hurt or hurt any of us. I don't want to have to hurt Frankie.
Right.
And I don't want her to take Frankie away from us with them. So I'm going to yell at her.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, "Hey, you with the ruby mask, I have what you want. I have the artifact that we stole from you.
Oh boy.
Let Frankie go, and I'll take you to where it is."
So you Frankie, will feel a hand on your shoulder and a very calm, "Wait, child." And
You know what I'm talking about, the stone with the divot in it?
so you will hear a voice through the mask. It is a man's voice. It is a deep voice that says, "Show me the stone."
I don't have it on me, but I know where it is, and I know what it is. Let him go, and I'll take you to it.
So the one in the ruby mask steps forward.
The
steps
stone is
around
more
Frankie,
valuable than he is.
steps around Frankie,
rude.
holds his hand out and says, "Step forward, child." To you. He has his hand out, the other hand is at his side. Step forward.
I'll step forward.
Okay. He will place his hand on your head. Go ahead and give me a willpower roll. Willpower plus concentration.
Oh my god.
You need to beat a 16.
If Raya and Frankie get possessed, everyone's screwed.
Oh yeah, everyone's screwed if that happens.
There's only one way at that point.
Do it. Everybody get mind waving. Then we're all together still.
23.
Hell
23. Okay,
And
so
that's with my minuses from my wounds.
that's perfect. So here's the question I'm going to ask you. You are in control and you feel someone knocking mentally at the door to your mind or soul, whatever way you envision it. Do you allow that person in?
I'm going to push back, and I'm going to say that won't work on me. I'm stronger than Frankie is.
Oh.
Alright.
But
Wow.
I'll take you to it if you let him go. I'll do it willingly if you let him go.
So he will say in a fairly booming voice, which the only one who's not going to hear it is going to be Ayden, so he's fully in. And then, of course, right back at camp.
Oh, it's a good Egyptian hot dog.
If I release him, I will take you until I have the artifact.
That's fine. I'm not afraid of you.
Okay.
Let him go.
So do you, and you see Frankie collapse, do you release? There's now knocking at your mind again. Do you release?
It saves Frankie, so yes.
Okay,
There we
so
go.
Frankie, you're out. You see nothing. You're just out. So, Dr. Wolf, what you see...
Well, I'm focused on another part of the fight.
But
so-
I mean, I just cannot imagine that you're so narrowly focused.
Well,
I mean,
depends
it's
on how
seconds,
bad
but
at
yeah.
aiming, but
You will see Frankie fall in front of the robed one, the ruby masked one. Ruby masked one touches Raya, and now Raya turns and walks. And again, at the camp, there is a loud voice that booms out and says, "The battle is over. Step back." And for any of you that can see, which I guess is going to be Dr. Wolf at this point, only Dr. Wolf, you will see the combatants back up. They make a weird flourish, but you'll notice that the three Bedouins and Marood, once that flourish is done in the step back, all four of them step back. Cal turns left and right and then resheathes his sword.
Frankie, you and Ayden better come save me.
So, at this point, Raya and the Ruby Masked one are walking, and the voice again speaks loud enough for everyone to hear. You will all wait here. So, it's going to be a question of what do Cal and Maru do? They wait. So, walking towards you, not directly, not beeline, walking towards you is the man in the Ruby Mask and Raya, walking pretty much side by side.
they're heading in our direction of the camp, right?
Yep, they're walking, as you can tell, as direct as possible to the camp.
So, Barry, just so you know, I gave the artifact to Ayden. He
Okay.
has it on his person.
Okay. Oh, wait, is that true?
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, I have to change it. So, not walking out of camp, they are walking into the hole.
Aww.
God damn it.
Because she let him into her mind. Alright, so they're coming in the hole. So, for the moment, because for everyone up here, this is not going to make any sense of what's going on, we are going into the hole. So, Ayden, you have got your lamp lit.
Right.
As you step in, it feels like other tombs you've gone into. Smaller than normal. But the hallway has passages from the Book of the Dead going down both sides. Now, do you imagine that you would begin reading? Or would you race forward to find the end? I mean, are you the guy that turns to the back of the book to see the
I
ending?
would probably just, I'd be, cursory glance in case something grabs my attention.
Run and hide.
Because I have a copy, or I have a couple pages of the Book of the Dead, so I figure, there's a lot of repeating stuff or repetitive stuff, so if something looks out of place, that's when I'm going to stop and read it.
Okay, so go ahead and give me... God, what is the role we've been using for you for the Egypt stuff? It's not,
Mythology?
has it been mythology?
think so.
I
That
feel
or
like it's history.
All right, I can roll history.
Yeah, let's go. Do you have Thanatology?
No, I do
All
not.
right, that's fine. What I'm going to tell you is it's a different way to approach it. So if you had Thanatology, I would look at it very differently. So give me the history roll. You may add the obsession, the +4 to that.
Okay. I also have something that was Wisdom of the Ages. To any intellect general knowledge test, I can add history to it. So that
jeez.
applies to it.
Wait, but you're already adding history.
Cabinet Curiosity, I can add my appraise rating to an intellect research test. Nope. Or, I don't know.
Nope, that wouldn't be.
Alright, yes, welcome to my stream of thoughts. Okay, so it's gonna be 19.
Okay, so you're reading, you're taking the time to read this. One of the nice things is, because it's been closed, because it is safeguarded from the weather, it is not completely faded. There are not a lot of spots that have been cut. As far as you can tell, this tomb has not been robbed either, which a lot of times defacing happens from that. So walking through there, you have a nearly complete passageway walk down the Book of the Dead. As you're passing and moving through this, Raya, you come down, you will see that light, okay? That light up ahead. It's Ayden. You can identify that it's Ayden. You have some knowledge of where you are and what you're doing. Not the booming male voice, but a female voice, older female voice says, "Get the stone from him." You feel compelled with some level of anger, meaning you being you're going to be able to fight it and not kill him to take it. But you feel that at the back of you, that if he won't give it to you, you'll take it from him by force. What do you do?
I'm going to walk up to him and I'm going to say, Ayden,
Stop right there. So you say Ayden, and Ayden, go ahead and give me a willpower roll. Do not add concentration, because that makes it worse. I would say subtract concentration from it.
Okay.
Wow, exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Okay, I'll do one more. Before I do that one, yeah, so that's gonna be like 7.
Total 7?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and give me a coordination.
Oh wait, plus you said wit too, so
Yes.
it's 10 total.
All right. Go ahead and give me a coordination roll.
11.
Okay. Yeah, as you hear the voice where there shouldn't be anyone, you fumble the candle, but you are able to catch it before it hits the ground and goes out. Raya is right there next to you. Finish what you were saying, Raya. Ayden.
Ayden, do you have the stone on you?
You can hear in the back of your mind, yes. It's a little huskier, older female voice.
Does she seem weird?
Nope, not at present.
Oh, okay, well, oh yeah, sure, here you go. I mean,
I'm good with
focus,
it. I
man.
think it's funny.
just like whatever
What do
you're
you
bothering
do?
me, go grab it. Go away.
Can
Yeah,
I
sure.
fight this?
Can you fight this? Yeah, you can take a single roll.
Okay.
It's going to be will plus concentration.
Okay. What would I need to do if I don't make the number to take another corruption in order to make it?
Well, I would think you would have to take a corruption in something that you already have, in the trying to save people. For some reason,
Okay.
the way I'm reading it from you, you think that this is not just bad, this is detrimental to your
like
group.
taking another point.
Yeah, I would say if you need to, you can do that.
Okay.
The anger.
You're not helping. and you already know that I'm a Sith.
God, the Bedouins run.
Oh.
So many younglings, so little time.
18.
18. All right. So you feel you are pushing out.
And that's without doing
anything. Right.
correction.
So you're pushing out. Outside, Dr. Wolf, before I forget, the combatants have moved away from each other and are just kind of staring at each other. Everyone except for Ra has sheathed their weapons, and Ra's just holding it at his side. Are you you were aiming. Are you going to shoot one of them?
Not at the moment.
Okay, very good. So back inside, go ahead and roll. We're going to make another willpower plus concentration roll.
Okay.
The moment any of the Novus Day try to make a move, that's
an aggressive move, I should say.
I would like to use a corruption.
You're going to raise that corruption, okay?
Does that give me an extra point or an extra
It gives you
dice,
another reroll.
Another
That's
reroll?
all it does.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you gotta burn through all your rerolls first.
Yeah, if you have other
I actually haven't
Yeah,
used my
so there we
rerolls
go.
yet, so I'll use my
use your reroll as you
Rerolls.
wish.
21.
Okay, so you push back, and you hear that voice, "Give it to me!" And you feel compelled currently to give it.
Okay.
You want to reroll?
I'd like to reroll. I have 2 rerolls, right?
Okay.
Okay. 23.
Okay, so with a 23, you feel like you have pushed the doors shut and shoved that foot that was holding the doors open out. Okay? So, now, you and I need to re-roll initiative. So, Ayden, you've just handed...
Yep.
You have just handed Raya
Go away,
the
Ryan,
stone.
I'm busy.
19.
So 19. So you feel as you've pushed whatever it is out, and you will hear inside the hallway, "That was a mistake." We will end right there.
No!
Wait, in the back of the hallway, like way
Down the hallway from the front. Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-Sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments. And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.